Hi, how are you today? Today I'm attempting a flower pour over a dessert cup. This video is slightly sped up 1.5 times, just because I'm kind of going a little bit slow here trying to figure things out, and it would be a really long video if I hadn't done that. So the colors I'm using today are all Artist Loft colors. I'm using medium magenta. That's what I'm using on my base coat here. And I'll also be using violet, silver, and then the Artist Loft Flow Acrylic Black. I am doing this over repurposed, I believe this is a 10 by 10, just a value canvas. So I will be using this dessert cup. It was gifted to me by my friend, the adorably sweet Dolores of Dolores at DF Designs. And this is the same cup that Fiona of Fiona Art uses for her beautiful flower cups or flower pours as well. So I will put the links for both of their channels down in the description, so please go check them out and show them some love. So medium magenta is not my favorite color at all, but I have so much of it for some reason. I don't even know why. And this paint has been sitting on my shelf actually for several months. And other than some, little bits of boogers and stuff that were in the paint, it aged really well. I did have to thin it out slightly with a little bit of water, especially the black, which is funny because the Artist Loft Flow Acrylic paint is usually thinner paint. It needed the most water to get them all the same consistency. So I'm just going to start pouring my colors down. I don't know why I poured pink first. That was just a complete and utter brain fart on my part. But whatever, it is what it is. Let's just put more pink on the bottom. All of these colors are going to play nice together with the exception of the pink and the black. I try to avoid putting pink next to black at all costs because to me it just turns muddy and yucky. So other than purposely keeping the pink away from the black, I just start adding these colors at random and putting them down. As long as I avoid the pink black next to each other, I think it's going to be fine. So I have done bottle bottom pours. I don't think I have ever made one that I'm very happy with. I don't think I've ever made one that actually even resembled a flower in the end. So there's definitely an art to it. Definitely takes a lot of practice. I'm happy to have these cups because they'll have like the six sections as opposed to the 5 sections that most pop or soda bottles have on the bottom, which is nice. So if I manage to get a nice flower, it will have the nice 6 petals, be a little bit more symmetrical, and just be different than a regular bottle bottom pour. So I really don't have much of a plan on how I'm layering my colors. I think I had a little bit of turquoise and a little bit of blue left over as well, but I really wanted to use up as much of this pink as possible, and I don't really like turquoise and pink together, so I avoided that. And yeah, anyways, I just went with this color palette, and I probably have enough paint poured onto this canvas by the end for 2 or 3 canvases and I still have lots of paint left over, so I might do something on a bigger canvas. At this point, this is looking pretty good. I'm happy with how even everything is turning out. Give it a little blow with my mouth right down in the center of the bottom of the cup to try to get all that extra paint to flow over the edge. I think I'm about to pick it up and turn it. Yeah, pick it up, turn it so that when I pour, continue to pour, those little puddles come down in between the previous ones. And I purposely omitted wearing gloves this time. I haven't painted for a while, and I was really missing my paint, and I just wanted to get my hands dirty and get in there with paint under my nails and just really enjoy the experience of working with my paint today. So I have a question for everybody out there. I'm thinking of possibly making an intro for my channel. I haven't done one to this point because I'm not convinced I want one. And I'm not convinced that I'll like it if I put one on. So let me know what you think in the comments. Should I do an intro, or should I just skip the whole intro thing and just head straight into the art? What are your thoughts on channels that do or do not have an intro? That's the question of the day. I probably could have sped this up just a little bit more, but that's okay. I think I'm getting pretty close to being done here. So the paint had some dried up little globs in it that I go around and pick out every once in a while. But I'm really surprised that this paint is holding together as well as it is for how long it's been sitting around. Well, I know for a fact that I mixed this paint up well before Christmas. So it's been sitting on the shelf for at least a couple of months. This is my flip cup recipe, which is paint, Floetrol, and water. So normally I put the paint in the bottom of the cup, and usually I weigh it, so I'm putting in, let's say, 100 grams of paint, then I'll use 100 grams of Floetrol, and then I will add water for consistency and get all the paint the same consistency with however much water it takes to achieve that. So anyways, I'm just using the end of a skewer here to pull out those designs. And I'm not really liking what's happening in the center with my little swirly thing here, but you'll see shortly in a little bit here that it just really doesn't matter. I thought about using my spinner, but I was really wanting to paint. I didn't want to stop and put the protective sheeting down on my spinner. It wasn't covered from the last time I used it, and I just didn't want to stop and deal with my spinner, so I thought I'll just tilt, and tilting is not my greatest skill, so I had also had it in my head that there's no way that this is going to look anything like a flower by the time I'm done tilting it. And then I also used probably at least twice as much paint as what I needed. So I'm just tilting at this point to try to retain some type of composition, and completely left the whole flower design idea in the dust. So I'm looking at it because I like the negative space that's in that bottom left-hand corner, but I don't think it's working with what's going on with the rest of the canvas or rest of the design. And where the center of the flower design is just a hot mess. So I need to just dump that right off and get rid of it, because it was yucky and ugly and I didn't like it. So at this point, I do like what's happening here, and I should have left it, but no, I have to pick on it some more, try to get off even more paint, because there's still a lot of paint on this canvas. But I am really liking how all the colors are staying separate. It's looking more like a ribbon pour at this point. The pink is not coming in contact with the black, so I'm not getting much muddying or mixing of those two colors, which turns into a yucky shade. And the silver is actually doing this really cool thing where it's going over the other colors and leaving this beautiful shadowing effect that I think is really cool, especially on the black and across the purple. You'll see in the close-up here shortly what I'm talking about. But all the colors are staying nice and crisp, and I'm not completely hating it at this point. I think it's kind of nice. I'm not sure if I'm going to leave it exactly like this, or if I might do some embellishments on it later when it's had a chance to dry for several days. I'll have to think about it, but I'm kind of liking how it's looking right now. I'm just taking some of the other colors and covering my corners just to anchor those corners down a little bit. I don't like how the corners were, mixed colors, and I just wanted them to be a solid color. So I do go around several times for about the next half hour, just scraping the bottom as the drips are falling off, making sure that the bottom is going to be clean. You can see that my canvas is not perfectly level. This was a spontaneous painting that I did, so my preparation for everything was not what it should be. So here I'm just going to take you in for a close-up. That silver is looking really nice, and look, I love how it's gone over the other colors and left this really kind of sparkly, almost glittery shadow effect over everything. And I love the nice solid colors, the solid pieces of the purple and the magenta. I quite like this piece. It's not what I was going for by any means. It doesn't look anything like a flower. It looks like just a regular ribbon pour, and I'll have to go back and revisit that process again some other time. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Have a good day. Bye.